Hey guys! I hope you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha as always, and I welcome you to my channel. I hope that you guys are enjoying my content, that you guys are enjoying it, but also learning from it. That's my main desire with all the stuff that I'm sharing with you guys. In this video, I wanted to kind of share with you some ideas I had about homophobia and how, in my opinion, if you are an INFJ, it's kind of like a completely opposite spectrum. I don't think an INFJ can truly, if they're truly an INFJ, can truly be a homophobic person as well. I just think they're just so far apart from each other, those two concepts, that it's just not possible for them to meld together. Now, of course, there are always exceptions to the rule, and I'm not going to say that this is a never can never be kind of thing, but from what I have learned about being an INFJ, from what I've seen from being an INFJ, I noticed that there is this deep desire within us to be understood. We want to be understood. We want to know that we're not alone. We want to know that we are not the only people on the planet that are so weird or odd or alienated or different or unique or alienish, as we call them, as we call ourselves. I always say to myself that I'm kind of like an alien that's been dropped onto the planet to observe how human beings live and to kind of report back to my higher beings. But if you are an INFJ and you have gone through your entire life feeling like you are lost and misunderstood and an outsider, we always feel like we're outsiders. We always feel like we are pushed off to the side and we're not really part of society or a part of the community that we live in. Even if we have friends within the community, even if we have family members, even if we have people around us that are part of our persona or part of our tribe, even then we have this sense within ourselves that we are not really within that community. We really always feel like an outsider. We always feel like an alien. We always feel like we are misunderstood and we're an outsider. Just basically that's it, right? So how can an individual like this, how can an INFJ who feels this way and who has felt this way their entire life, how can they go into a situation and judge someone else and alienate someone else, or even have prejudice against someone else because of who they are, who they truly are, whatever their inclinations might be, whatever their proclivities might be, whatever they are? How can we go in as the people that we are, as whatever we are, whatever we tell ourselves we are? How can we go into any of the situation and say to that person, oh, so you like men and you are a man. Okay, you are a man, so I'm not going to like you anymore. I'm going to be prejudiced against you because that's who you have chosen to live as. That's your lifestyle choice, and I'm going to judge you for that. Or going in and saying the same thing to women who like women, or transgendered people, or cross-dressers, or whatever, transsexuals, whatever their inclinations might be. How can we go in to these individuals and say, all right, so you do this kind of stuff and I'm against it because why? Because you're different from me? We are different from everyone else. We are the ones who always complain that we are unique and we're different, and we complain about the fact that we have to deal with all this shit, and we complain about the fact that we always have to explain ourselves to the people around us because they don't understand us. And even if we explain ourselves to the people around us, they still don't understand us. And being from this kind of unique perspective and looking at ourselves and how depressing it can be and how alienating and how sad and miserable sometimes it can be to be so alienated and to be such an outsider, how can we as such an individual go off to another group of people, whoever they might be, any kind of LGBTQ community, anyone from there, or any kind of community where we go in and say, oh, you're different from everyone else, so I'm going to judge you for who you are, for the choices that you've made, for the lifestyle that you've chosen, or for the way that you're living your life. How can anyone do that, obviously? Like, I just don't understand how anyone who is not being affected by that lifestyle, who is not being affected by it, it's like you're going in, the same thing with the pro-life and pro-choice community. I don't get that, but I'm not going to bring that in because it's a whole can of worms, and I know it's going to bring up a lot of debate. But how can an individual who is not affected by someone else's lifestyle choice go in and say to this person, oh, you're living that way, it doesn't affect me, but I'm going to judge you for it, and I'm going to tell you that you cannot live that way? How and why? Why does it matter to you if someone else is going out with a person of the same gender? What business is it of yours? Why do you care what they do in the privacy of their own bedrooms? They are adults, and they're consenting adults, hopefully, and they're making their own choices, and they are going off and deciding, okay, I have decided, or I feel like I'm attracted more to the person of my own gender rather than the person of an opposite gender. So I'm going to live that lifestyle. I'm not affecting anyone else. I'm just going out after the people who are similar to me, so who are gay or lesbians or whatever it might be. I'm not affecting anyone else. I'm not going and hitting on random heterosexual people. I'm not even touching them, not doing anything to them. They can live their own lifestyle, and I want to live my own lifestyle. Now, how does that affect you in any shape or form? How can you go in and say, okay, so you're not actually even coming close to me or doing anything to me or talking to me or interacting with me, but somehow your sexuality is my business all of a sudden? Or again, same thing with your choices are my business all of a sudden. How is my choice to live my life the way I want to live my life, how is that your business all of a sudden? How does that, I mean, you're not even related to me. Not even my parents have the right to tell me what kind of sexuality I should have, as long as I'm a consenting adult. As soon as I turn 18 in certain countries, or 21 in others, whatever the age might be, as soon as you're an adult, no one on this planet has the right to tell you anything. They don't have the right to tell you, especially they don't have the right to tell you what kind of sexuality you should have. Whatever you might be a transgender person who's interested in the person of the same gender as you, or there's so many different ways of living your life right now, so many different sexualities that are cropping up, so many different ways of expressing your sexuality. How can any individual come into your community or your vicinity and say, okay, yeah, I don't actually know you, you're not actually related to me, you're not anyone to me, you're just a stranger off the street, but I saw you holding hands with a person of the same gender, or I saw you kissing a person of the same gender, and all of a sudden I feel like I should tell you that you are not welcome in my house or in my vicinity anymore, or you're not the kind of person that I want to be friends with, or that's not something I want to see. Why? Am I kissing you? Am I telling you that I want to jump on you and do things to you? Am I telling you that you should come and watch me doing random things in my bedroom? No, it has nothing to do with you. It is none of your freaking business what I'm doing with a consenting adult in the privacy of my own home, or even on the streets. The streets are public property. Like, it doesn't matter what I do over there. I mean, of course, I'm not going to do anything crazy, but I'm allowed to, if I wanted to, kiss the person that I love, if they're of the same gender, or if they're of the opposite gender, or whatever they are. I'm allowed to do that. I should be allowed to do that. Now, of course, a lot of countries in the world right now, homosexuality is kind of prohibited, and it's frowned upon, obviously, but also you can have jail time because of it, or you can be stoned to death because of it, or all of this random crazy stuff. I'm lucky enough that I come from Toronto, and I'm living in Thailand right now, and both of these countries are really open to different sexualities. And that's why I love living in these countries, because there is no one frowning upon you because you are a certain way. If you are walking around as a man with makeup on and nail polish on and in a dress, that's fine. You can do that if you want to do that. If you want to get married to the person of the same gender, you can do that as well if you want to. If you want to wear clothes, if you want to be a cross-dresser and wear clothes from a different gender, but also date a person from the same gender, then you're allowed to do that as well. You know what I mean? Like, all of these possibilities are accepted, because who knows anything anymore? I mean, 100 years ago, women were thought that to be as an inferior species, and they weren't given the right to vote, or they weren't given the right to do anything, to own land, do anything. But now we're slowly but surely moving towards becoming an equal to the men in society, right? And so as time goes on, what might happen to society, and it's going to change and meld in ways that we can't even imagine right now. The future generations, hopefully, the earth is alive and well for a long period of time, and humanity is as well as alive for a long period of time. And I would be interested to come back to this planet, in a few hundred years, to see what's going on with the world. How is society living? How is everything being? What kind of paradigms have shifted, and what kind of different lifestyles are being chosen? How are people living their awesome, beautiful, interesting lives? I am so excited to see that grow and meld in the future. I can already see that within the generation currently, how they are more open to the idea of homosexuality or any kind of LGBTQ community. They're more open to it because they have been born with it. It's not something that's weird to them or different. Now again, I just want to say that if you have been alienated all your life for being different as an INFJ, how can you go off and judge someone else for being different? It's the simplest idea behind it. It's just not possible. I know how it feels to be judged for being different and unique and weird. I know how it is. I know how depressing and sad and alienating and how it feels. I know it. And so how can I go off and say to someone else, oh, you're different. Oh, okay, I'm going to judge you for it. I'm going to make you feel terrible for it. I'm going to alienate you for it. I'm going to push you away for it. How can I ever say that? What right do I have to say that two men are not allowed to fall in love or two women are not allowed to have sex? What right do I have when they are not involved with me, when they are not my anything? It doesn't make any sense. I don't have a right to say anything to them, and if I do, then they should be allowed to say things to me. Then I should be told as an INFJ that you have to live exactly the same way as everyone else lived. You have to be exactly the same as everyone else. And if I'm not gonna do that, then other people should be allowed to live the way they want to live. I just wanted to really say this because I want to say it as I guess the owner of this channel or the person who is in charge of doing the videos on this channel, that homophobia is absolutely not allowed on this channel. If you're going to express it, you're going to be cut down. You're going to be shut down for it because it's just not acceptable. It's not an acceptable emotion, at least in my opinion. If I have any control over it, and I do on this channel, I absolutely will not allow any kind of homophobic comments or any kind of derogatory comments towards any group. It does not make any sense at all. You cannot be racist, you cannot be sexist, you just cannot make stupid comments like that. Because if you're an INFJ, and if you truly are an INFJ, you will know that it's unacceptable for you to judge someone else for living their life the way they want to live and not be judged yourself for living the way that you want to live, right? I mean, we've always been judged, and you know how it feels. How can you judge someone else for living the way they want to live? How is that even possible? And so absolutely not allowed, guys. I know I don't have to actually even say this, hopefully, but if you are even leaning towards it, then go off to some other channel. I really don't need subscribers like that. And my channel. I really don't want you. I don't need you. You guys can go off and talk to someone else who is interested in those kind of opinions, okay? Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being on my channel. I really, really appreciate all of the support that you guys have been sending my way. I am so grateful for all the comments and all the interesting ideas. And if you guys are interested, you can message me in any shape or form. All my contact information is in the description below. You can ask me questions, or you can tell me if you like my videos or if you hate them. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.